The 2026 FIFA World Cup is going to run longer and feature more games than any tournament in history. For nearly 3 decades, starting with France in 1998, the competition operated on a strict, predictable system. Exactly 32 teams qualified. As this diagram shows, those 32 teams slotted neatly into a month-long schedule that produced exactly 64 matches. 64 games was plenty of time for football to completely take over the global calendar and require massive logistical coordination. That format became a mathematical sweet spot, perfectly balancing global representation with the physical limits of a month-long sporting event. But for 2026, the governing body made a single administrative decision that breaks that historical equation. They expanded the participant pool from 32 teams to 48. On paper, adding 16 countries looks like a straightforward 50% increase. In practice, those 16 extra teams force a total reconfiguration of the schedule, as each new participant creates a chain reaction of extra logistics and match days. The math problem starts with the basics. Every new country that shows up needs opponents to play against, and those new matchups require days on the calendar. Previously, 32 teams organized effortlessly into 8 groups of 4. To absorb 48 teams, the brackets have to widen, building out 4 additional groups, making 12 in total. These new groupings trigger a massive wave of fresh fixtures to complete the opening round. Because of the round-robin structure, handing out 16 extra invitations creates a disproportionate explosion of football before anyone even faces elimination. But getting through the group stage is only half the problem. Now you hit a massive mathematical bottleneck. The old 8-group model funneled perfectly into a symmetrical 16-team elimination bracket. 12 groups don't do that. So to make the math work, organizers had to insert an entirely new layer, a round of 32. That means wedging what is essentially an entire high-stakes mini-tournament into the middle of the schedule. When you combine the expanded group stages with that brand-new knockout round, the total match count jumps by 40 games. By pushing the starting roster to 48, the schedule swells from 64 games to 104. It is the equivalent of taking half of a second World Cup and bolting it directly onto the original. You cannot physically squeeze 40 extra 90-minute matches into a traditional 4-week window. The schedule has to stretch, which raises the obvious question of why organizers would willingly invite this kind of logistical headache. Lowering the barrier means entirely new flags will reach the pitch. Nations that struggle to qualify now have a viable path in. Every time a new country earns a spot, they bring an entirely untapped national fan base along with them. Millions of new fans translate directly into sold-out stadiums, massive spikes in global broadcast viewership, and significantly higher revenue streams. The World Cup's underlying math now functions as a high-output engine for global commercial scaling. Because they changed a single number, the event unfolding in 2026 will operate on a scale that dwarfs everything that came before it. Now, the debate shifts to the fans. Will an extra 40 matches deliver more of the intense drama everyone tunes in for? Or will a sprawling 104-game calendar start to feel like an exhausting marathon? By pushing the logistical limits to their absolute breaking point, we are about to find out exactly how much football the world can actually handle.